I would get you the green card. I would file for you.
Everybody is talking about how Roby Ekpo cried on the honest bunch, how it was naive of him to allow his wife have an arranged marriage for papers. But the part nobody is talking about is what happens when these arranged marriages don't work out. Because most times when we hear about arranged marriages, we see the success stories, the people it worked out for that are now living happily ever after with their papers or even citizenship abroad. We don't really hear this other side when it doesn't work out for one party.
No, she never filed for me.
And the truth is, arranging marriages are not all the same. There is the type where the paper partner does not even know that they are a paper partner. They don't know that the person they are living with is using them to get papers. When the paper comes, the other one moves on and dumps the paper partner. We've seen something like that before, like in Edwin Ijoma's case, who, after conveniently getting his South African citizenship, divorced his South African wife with the excuse that there were no children in the marriage. Then there's the type where everybody knows the paper partner, the person looking for paper, and their original spouses are involved. Everybody knows this is a transaction. Sometimes money is involved. Other times, some people do it as a favor. But there's an agreement. No emotion on anybody's part. It's just transaction. Nobody is being fooled. They do it, they get the papers, and everybody moves on. But then there's another type where everything goes according to plan, but one person starts catching feelings, mostly the paper partner. Something that was meant to be a temporary agreement, they are no longer able to detach from it. Now, this Robbie and Mayowa situation, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like the alleged paper partner was the one she got married to later. Everything is alleged, but from what Robbie said, this looked like a case where the arrangements worked, but the original relationship did not. And according to him, from what he was saying, it was like Mayowa was stringing him along all the way, saying, I will fight for you, I will fight for you. So
Even if we're not together anymore, Sha, but I will still file for you.
and this is where it gets messy, especially when the person going into the arrangement is already married. Because sometimes partners sit down together and say, oh, this is the way forward. We have to do this, we have to do that to move our family forward, right? Some partners don't want to be a part of it. Some people say, no, I can't do that. It's more common to see men go into this kind of arranging marriage and their wives are expected to go along with it, regardless of how they feel about it. There was a case of a wife in Nigeria whose husband told her that, oh, this is the way forward for him. He has tried everything else, but that's the last thing he needed to do. And the wife was like, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't like this at all. So because the wife did not approve, he could not move forward. Then he begged his family members to help him plead with his wife to let him move forward. She just has to give him her blessings. But the family members went to this lady's house to fight her. Enemy of progress. Other women are doing it. So and so got their papers through this. Now the wife and children are enjoying with him abroad. But the wife said, no, I'm not going to do this. They fought with her, they quarreled with her. That was how this poor woman, she was outnumbered. She took her 2 children and gingerly left that marriage. That's just one of the few women that were able to stand their ground to say, I'm not comfortable with this. But many women have been pressured to go into this kind of arrangement with their husbands, even as far as expecting the wife to pretend to be the sister of the husband when the paper partner comes home with the husband to visit. Many women have done this time and time again. And men as well. If Robbie didn't speak up, you would think it's only the men doing it. But now that Robbie spoke up, we now know that women also do it. Women do it, but it's not as common as you see amongst the men. But I'm yet to see the Nigerian man that would pretend to be his wife's brother while the paper husband is chilling with his wife. I'm yet to see that. I'm yet to even hear of that. Now, Robbie is being shamed for speaking up, for saying that he agreed to this. And let's be honest, if all he's saying is true, yes, he got the short end of a shady deal. But we cannot deny that he was also complicit in this arranging marriage thing. He agreed to it in the first place, right? What do you think? Leave me a comment in the comment section. Some people will say it's not a simple decision. And really, most times it works out for some people, right? Once the plan works, everybody moves on. Like they say in our place, when you look at the mouth of a king, you will never think that king was once a suckling baby. When the plan works, everybody moves on. Nobody talks about it. Nobody knows how this family or this person got their stay. It's their private business, right? Until something like this happens and it becomes public. Now, the whole internet is commenting on it. And once it's out, this kind of thing doesn't just affect one person. He raises questions about timelines, relationships, and how things were done, applications. And one thing people don't always think about is this. When something like this comes out, and it will, especially if one party is disgruntled, it doesn't just affect the two people involved. It will also affect the paper partner if they knowingly engaged in a sham marriage. And even the person speaking out too may not realize that they are a part of the same situation. They agreed to a fraud. These things are really one-sided. When you look at immigration cases generally, you start to see a pattern. Things don't always stay buried. Even years later, if something comes up, those cases might be revisited. This is not really about the failure of arranged marriages because arranged marriages work out for people all the time. This is about the other side of arranged marriages people don't usually talk about or even look at. Because what worked for this person will not work for that person. And I'm not endorsing arranged marriage. And interestingly, Roby mentioned his grandmother, Margaret Ekpo. And that caught my attention because when I was in Uniben Ekewa campus, I actually lived in Margaret Ekpo Hall for 4 years. And I never really thought about who she was at the time. You hear the name, but you don't always connect it to a real person or a real family behind it. And that's the thing with situations like this too, because behind all of these Arrangee strategies, there are real people, real relationships, and real consequences. And sometimes there is a paper partner who thinks they are really in a relationship, not knowing that they are just being used to get paper. We don't usually talk about this part where one party feels cheated in this arranging marriage scheme, but they cannot go to a court of law for justice because their hands are not entirely clean. And I'm glad Robbie spoke up because there might be couples thinking of doing this strategy, going the arranging marriage route. It's not always butterflies and sunshine on that route. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to my free newsletter as settled. And thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.